Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I'm participating in a Wood Patriotic DIY challenge. I'll let you know more about that in a few minutes, but first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so happy you stopped by today, and if you're returning, you know I love you. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I am going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white and my Waverly antique wax. I am going to use my DIY cardinal red and then my apple barrel real navy. I am going to use 2 of these were like some wood stakes I got from Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance and I cut them down. And then this decal from my Cricut, this stencil from Temu, and then some 1x6s, I believe they were, that I had cut down as well. So I'm going to start off by taking my wood glue, and I am just going to glue each one of those together, just like you see me doing here. After I have them all glued together, I had to go searching through my husband's tools to find some clamps, and I clamped them together and I let them sit for most of the day just so they'd adhere. And then after that, I took my white chalk paint, painted the middle. I used the blue on the 2 small pieces and then the red on the ends. Then I took this stencil and some white chalk paint, and I am stenciling over the small wood pieces. And sorry guys, to tell you the truth, with that DIY paint, with the cardinal red, I ended up going over it with some apple barrel, I think it was called flag red, because that cardinal red was really pretty, but it's a little more pink, and I wanted it to be a little more red. So I did add some apple barrel red flag on top of that, just to bring out the red. Then I took my stencil here, and I'm going to stencil on some of the stars on the top and the bottom part of my sign here. And once I had those all done, I took my decal. Now, I originally was going to use the one that I showed earlier as a stencil and paint it, but this was getting late at night and I had pretty much used all my paintbrushes. I was tired of painting, so I decided to just take the letters I had weeded out of that and add them on to my sign here. And then I'm going to take some wood glue and I'm going to glue those wood pieces to the top and the bottom part of my sign here, just like you see me doing right there. And then I'm going to take some antique wax here, and I'm just going to go all along the seams where those wood pieces are connected, and then I'm just going to go all the way around the edges, just like you see me doing here. I went around the sides and then between the blue wood pieces there. Once that was dry, I took my dishwasher safe Mod Podge, and I am just going to go over the whole thing with this Mod Podge. Once it was dry, I went over the back as well, because I do plan on hanging this outside in our front yard. And so I just want to protect it from the elements. After that, I added some hooks on the top, as you can see there. Sorry I didn't show that. And there it is. I absolutely love it. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one in the comment box below. Okay, it is the Patriotic Wood DIYs playlist or collaboration. It is hosted by Kendra and Sammy, and it has some amazing, talented women. So make sure you check out all of their channels, and make sure you watch every video for a chance to win a Cricut Explorer Air 2. And in order to win that, there's some rules. Number 1, you need to watch every video and answer each creator's question in their comment box, and you have to answer each or all 5 questions to be entered to win. You must be at least 18 years of age or older, and due to the high shipping cost, unfortunately, we can only have this for people who have addresses in the U.S. Number 4, we will be drawing for the winner on June 10th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We will post the winner's name on our community tabs, and we will each respond to the winner's comment. So make sure you're checking those out. And then the winner will have 48 hours to respond to Kendra by emailing her. I had the email address there. And then please beware of scammers. We don't use Telegram, and we will never ask you for money or personal information other than your mailing address and then the ID to confirm your age. So really, really don't send anyone money. Okay, here's DIY number 2. And by the way, I will have all that in my description box as well. So I'm going to use some of these. This came from a Dollar Tree mop, and then a gallon paint stir stick. One of these huge half beads I got from Amazon. I'm going to use my Folk Art Seashell Pink and Apple Barrel Old Navy something, sorry. I'll have it in my description box. And then my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, ink, and crimson. I'm going to use this wood piece that we had, this scrap wood my husband found on the side of the road and brought home to me. So I'm going to start off by painting it with my white. Now, if you don't have scrap wood like this, you could definitely use the craft wood that Dollar Tree has. It might be a little smaller and thinner, but you could still use that. Or their signs, their long signs. So I'm going to start off, after it was painted, I took my painter's tape here, and I am just using a little strip as a spacer, and then I am putting my tape down so that I can make stripes. And once I have that big tape down, I add my little spacer there, and then add another piece. And then I'm going to add tape along the bottom. I did have some little pencil marks there, so I knew where to place the tape. But I did also go around with a ruler. As you can see, it's sitting next to me, just to make sure each one of those were even and not crooked. After I had that all done, I painted the top part with my crimson, and the middle with that seashell pink, and then the bottom with the real navy by Apple Barrel. After once I had those painted, I also had cut down that paint stir stick and painted it with that real navy as well. And then I'm just taking this stencil from Temu, and I'm just stenciling in some stars. Then I took my wood glue here, and I'm putting it along the back of my wood stick here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the edge too, and I'm just going to place that right above the pink area, which is now Uncle Sam's face. And then I took my half bead and stuck it where I want it, and then I'm just drawing out some eyes. And once I had that done, I'm taking some ink chalk paint by Waverly and a small brush, and I'm just coloring in those eyes. And after I had that all done, I had to make it a little bit wider because I felt like it wasn't as wide. I used my wood glue here to attach my half bead so that becomes his nose. And then I'm adding some hot glue around the edge, and then I'm just going to hot glue it right there in between the eyes. After that, I took the mop threads, I don't know what you want to call them, but I folded it partly in half. I was measuring how long I wanted it, and then I just started cutting all of them down to be the same size. Once I had them all trimmed up, I took my E6000, I drew a line of it under his nose, and then I'm just pressing all of those little mop strings on top of that E6000 so that it would dry or adhere to it. Then I just went and I unraveled all of those little mop pieces. They're like 4 or 5 strands all braided together. And then I took some small pieces of this, and I'm making eyebrows for him because, you know, Uncle Sam has bushy eyebrows. And then after that, I took some more of that mop and I tied a little strand of it around it, in like you see me doing there. And then I'm just kind of doing the same thing I did with the beard. I'm just unraveling it all. And then I'm going to hot glue it right underneath his nose. And then I didn't like how it was showing the edges of the beard. So after I trimmed it up on the ends there, I am going to hot glue some of it along the beard part, so that way you don't see those edges. And I did that on both sides. And then I took some white chalk paint, and I'm just adding some little, I don't know what you would call it. I guess they're pupils, I don't know, into his eyes. Yeah, I'm not an artist, you guys. Anyways, I took this stencil and I made 2 more little stars on his shirt. And then I took the base and I taped it off, and I am going to paint it with my crimson to make stripes. Then I'm taking my wood glue once it was all dry, and I took a little bit of hot glue on the ends, and I'm going to attach Uncle Sam to that base, just like you see me doing right there. After that, my husband went and drilled some holes on that base for me, and I am just adding some wood glue in there and then a couple of flags from Dollar Tree, and there it is. I think he is so cute. You have to let me know what you think about him in the comment box below. Okay, I want to take this moment to thank my subscribers. You guys are wonderful. You mean the world to me. And if you're new here, welcome. I would hope that you would hit that red subscribe button before you go. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it means the world to me. And then if you'd like to help support my channel, give me that thumbs up, comment, and watch those ads. That really helps me out. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find the links to all my social media accounts as well as the affiliate accounts in my description box below. Okay, here is DIY number 3. Now I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, crimson, and antique wax. I am also going to use my home decor chalk paint in the color nautical. I'm going to use my Chalk Couture chalk paste in the colors bright white, shimmer moonlight, and I was going to use the candy apple, but I ended up not using it. I am also going to use this beautiful new 4th of July transfer that just came out this year, and it is called Land of the Free. Now I haven't checked. I don't know if it's still available. And then I'm going to use this 14-inch wood round that I get from Hobby Lobby. So I started off by marking off a 4-inch area on the middle of my wood round, and I'm going to take some painter's tape here and tape it off just like you see me doing here. And I did use my ruler to make sure they were straight, and then I took another piece and added it right above that and right below to make it thicker, and you'll see why. But I painted the middle with the white, I painted the very top with the blue, and I painted the bottom with the crimson, and then I took the tape off and used my antique wax. Then I fuzzed this. Now if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, it is a adhesive silkscreen transfer, and you always want to fuzz it the first time you use it, because if you don't, the adhesive on the back of that transfer is strong and it can pull up your tape, or I'm sorry, your paint. So I just used a squeegee here in my chalk paste in the color Shimmer Moonlight, which is a beautiful color, and I'm just going over the words just like you see me doing here. And then once I was done, I removed it, and look how beautiful it looks. Then I went and cleaned off my transfer, and I came back and I'm fuzzing the next piece here, and I am just going to lay it down underneath America, and then I'm going to use that same Shimmer Moonlight and go over that as well. And this, I don't know if this is actually in, this color is not in the listing because it was like a special color, I think last month or the month before. Yeah, but I just think it's beautiful. I think this is one that was special. If you don't see it, it was. And then I took another part of that transfer set, and I am just going over the stars, and then I did that above the America wording as well. Then I took a whole bunch of ribbon, cut them down to 5 inches, and I'm just making an X here. I'm making a floppy bow. Now, normally I don't use different size ribbons. I always usually do the same size ribbon, but I thought I would try something different. I'm not sure. The verdict's still out on whether or not I like it this way, but I'm just taking some twine and wrapping it around it as tight as I can make it, which wasn't very tight. And then I took some pip tip berries I got from Dollar Tree, and I cut them down. I think I have like 3 of each color. Took a zip tie, wrapped it around, threaded it through the twine behind my bow, and then I'm just tightening it so it holds it all in place. After that, I am going to use my crocodile here to make 2 holes for the hanger. And then I decided to take some twine, and I had just recently got some Patriotic beads from Amazon. So I am just going to use those for my hanger, and I'm just kind of alternating some of the different colors that I have. And then after that, before I put the hanger on there, I took another piece of a craft stick and cut it down and added the antique wax on it, and I'm gluing it to the back because I want to staple this bow on, but that round isn't thick enough, and so I add that craft stick so that the staples don't go through. Then I had this little wood piece from Hobby Lobby that I add antique wax on and glued it into the front of my bow, and then I'm using E6000 to secure that zip tie down to the board, and then I clamped it and let it sit for a while, and there it is. I love how this came out. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, so it is a time for a celebration of your recreation. And Cindy has been so busy. She had sent me a whole bunch of pictures, and I showed some on my last video, and I'm showing the rest now, but she did an amazing job. They are so pretty, Cindy. Thank you. And if you have a creation or recreation that you would like me to showcase, you can send pictures to that email address that's listed there, or you can send them to me through Facebook, Messenger, or Instagram, and I am always thrilled to showcase them here for you. Okay, here's DIY number 4. So for this DIY, I am going to take my Waverly Antique Wax and then the Home Decor Nautical Chalk Paint. I'm going to take 2 of these wood, they're reed sticks. I get them from Amazon. I'm going to take these candlesticks and this finial from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to use this napkin I got from decoupagenapkin.com. And then I'm going to use one of these wood shelves from Dollar Tree. So I start off by taking my spackling, and I'm just filling in each of those holes on the side of that shelf. I took my miter shears and cut off that bottom piece of my finial, and then I just sanded it smooth. Then I went over those with the antique wax, and then I painted the middle of that shelf white, and then I taped it off, and I am painting it with my Nautical by Folk Art. And I know I showed you that I had 2 candlesticks there. I ended up only using the taller, thinner one. I decided I didn't like the 2 together. So after this piece was all dried, I took my napkin and I'm just measuring it to make sure it fits inside that white area, and I'm just trimming it down. And then decoupagenapkin.com, their napkins always have 2 plies, so I removed both plies from that napkin. And now I'm taking my miter shears and I am cutting those sticks down at an angle to fit over my napkin like a frame. And I cut out 4 of those, and then I took my Mod Podge and I'm just putting it all over the white area, and then I set it aside and let that dry. Once it was all dry, I took my napkin, I placed it over the white area, took some parchment paper like you use in your kitchen, put it over my napkin, and used my heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge. After that, I took some wood glue here and my sticks, and then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the ends for that immediate hold. And I'm just going to glue these in place to look like a frame around my picture. And I just love that, how that came out. I just think it's so pretty. After that, I took a half bead that I had painted with my wax, and I had cut it in half, very carefully cut it in half. And I'm using some wood glue and hot glue. I'm putting it all along the inside of this candlestick, and then I'm turning it upside down and sticking it in so it's kind of a flat base there. Then I took some wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to attach my sign to it. Then I took a block one of those blocks or cubes from Dollar Tree, cut it in half, and I did end up gluing both of them to the back for some more support, and then painted them with the antique wax. Then I took this rickrack I got from Temu, and I hot glued it all the way around my sign. And after I got done doing that, I am going to hot glue the finial on top. And then I made a finger bow, and I'm doing this really slowly. I'm doing a triple finger bow, so I'm wrapping my fingers 3 times with that twine. Then I take that extra and I wrap it around those loops. I come back around and I come from underneath and go through that middle loop, and then tighten with my fingers and my thumb. Just make that knot really tight. I just trimmed the ends down and hot glued it to the front, and then I realized I never added Mod Podge on the top of my napkin, so I did that real quick. And there it is. I absolutely love it. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. And so for the mystery question is, what is your favorite barbecue food? So make sure you input that in the comment box. Let me know what your favorite barbecue food is to be entered to win, and make sure you go and watch all the other videos and make sure you answer each of their questions. And if you have any question about the rules, that will be in my description box below. So here's your final reveal. I absolutely love how all of these came out. You have to let me know what your favorite one was. And with all that, good luck to all of you. I really hope one of my subscribers wins. But with all that being said, you guys, I will be back again on Monday with another video. Make sure not to send any scammers money. And with all that, you guys, have a blessed weekend, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.